Hello. This is our first episode of our first play of Access. Public Access, a new game from the Gauntlet. It is Car from Brindlewood. It's very similar to Brindlewood Bay and The Between. If you've seen those, if not, recommend checking them out. It's pretty great. This is my first time running it. I just read it this weekend. I've run a lot of other Car from Brindlewood games, so most of it is pretty familiar, and I'm sure there are some peculiarities we'll run into. When that happens, and we'll work through it. This is also my first time playing with all of you, I think, so I'm super excited. Let's go ahead and do introductions. I'll jump in. I'm Mark. I go by he or them pronouns, and I've been running, playing, designing games for quite a long time. I've been a member of the Gauntlet since the beginning of the pandemic, basically. And I just love doing it. I'm excited to get into it. Yeah, I'll drop a Twitch link in there. Rue, why don't you go ahead?
Sorry, can you skip me real quick? I'm having
Oh yeah, no worries.
Audio.
Yeah, of course. Let's do Billy then.
Hi, I'm Billy. I do a lot of playing role-playing games off streams. I've been on Jason's stuff a few times. Other than that, this is pretty much my only Brindlewood Bay adjacent stuff that I've played in. I have run some Car from Brindlewood stuff for home groups, but never done it online. So I'm excited.
Awesome, cool. Sasha, how you doing?
Hey, I'm Sasha. My pronouns are he, him. I'm from Toronto, and I've played / run The Between and Brindlewood Bay, but looking forward to giving this one a shot.
Awesome. Ellie, tell us about yourself.
I'm Ellie, she, her. I'm originally from Montreal. So hi, Sasha. Nice to meet you, neighbor.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Yeah, this is my first Car from Brindlewood game. Very excited about getting to that. I like to play games. I like to run games. I like to see how different systems help you tell different stories. Sometimes, sometimes they complement your story. Sometimes you need a different system. And from what I've heard about Car from Brindlewood Public Access, everything you guys here do, I'm super excited about digging into this one and also getting to play, because I've been running games for the better part of a year, but haven't really been a player. So thank you so much, Mark, and it's lovely.
Yeah, likewise. And Rue, are you ready to go?
Yes, sorry about that. You
No
guys
worries.
can hear me okay, right? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm kind of new to the tech stuff, so I was
You're all good.
worried about getting everything settled. So my name is Rue. My pronouns are they, them. I'm from Texas. And I have run Brindlewood Bay. I'm currently doing a campaign, but I'm really excited about public access.
Awesome. I'm also in Texas. I'm in Austin. So
Yeah,
it is...
I think I'm about 2 hours away from you. So
Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, so it sounds like some folks have done Car from Brindlewood stuff already, and that is great. I'll just jump into cats. Let's do that. That's concept, aim, tone, and subject matter. And so it's just to establish kind of a baseline expectation for the game and what we'll be doing. And one of the great things about a lot of the Car from Brindlewood games is that they just write out that for you. So I'm just going to read from the book, and of course, anytime at all, feel free to stop and ask a question. You know how it goes. Cool. So the concept is Public Access is a role-playing game about a group of people in 2004 called the Deep Lake Latchkeys. They find themselves investigating strange mysteries in and around the town of Deep Lake, New Mexico. In the 80s and early 90s, Deep Lake was the home of a public access television station called TV Odyssey, the history and fate of which the station literally disappeared is the source of much speculation in certain corners of the internet. As the Latchkeys conduct their investigations in Deep Lake, they'll become increasingly aware of the central role TV Odyssey plays in everything that's going on, and you'll have to face whatever terrible truth lies at the heart of the infamous station. Public Access takes inspiration from early internet horror stories, creepypastas, urban legends. It's also inspired by the analog and found footage horror subgenres, synthwave and vaporwave music, and American pop culture from the 80s and 90s. You'll see lots of references to everything in the game. The game's mechanics are based on Apocalypse World, Brindlewood Bay, and The Between, and you don't need to know anything about those games if you haven't played them. We'll get everything going while we go. So the aim of the characters in the story is to investigate local mysteries in order to get closer to the truth of what happened to TV Odyssey. Our aim as players is to learn more about these characters' pasts, as well as to paint a vivid picture of our version of Deep Lake, New Mexico. And that's all of us are going to be taking part in that. The aims for today's session are to create and introduce our characters, learn the basics of the game, and play it probably through the end of the first day phase. And if you don't know what that means, we'll get to it. And we'll do a little debrief at the end. The tone of Public Access is nostalgic, weird, and terrifying. Everything should always feel just a little bit wrong, a little bit off. Levity and humor, as always, are totally acceptable, especially in the early parts of the game. But as the overall story progresses, things will get much weirder and much scarier. Subject matter listed in the book is cosmic horror, graphic violence, ritual sacrifice, sexism, sexual desire, childhood trauma, consumer culture, and other dark and sensitive topics. We'll talk about safety tools in just a moment, but in the interest of setting expectations right now, know that this game occasionally deals with dark and intense subject matter. Any questions about any of that stuff up front? Awesome. Cool. So yeah, let's talk about safety tools. You should all have a link to the Character Keeper, and if you don't, let me know and I'll get it for you. On the Character Keeper, there is a safety tab. It's the third one from the left. We're going to be using basically 3 safety tools. Although this is an official Gauntlet game, I generally operate under those guidelines. So open door policy, for starters. This is everyone's game, and players are always more important than the game. So if you need to leave at any time or drop out or miss a session or just bail in the middle because it's not your jam, totally cool. If you can let me know, that's great. If not, and you disappear, we'll assume that you've disappeared. And that's all right. And of course, if you need to come back, same thing applies. I like to use script change, and I think that is linked in the safety tab and under info. Script change by Bo Chagra Sheldon. It's basically a superpowered X card. And it's not a formal thing, really. It's basically, you can just say stop anytime that something comes up that is a bad time for anyone, and we will either roll it back, you can rewind it, or talk about it and then slowly move forward. Yeah, and we can even fast forward through stuff that is coming up that we're not a fan of, or all that stuff. Again, no formal signs or anything. You can do an X or just say stop, whatever is easiest. The most important thing is that it's easy to do instead of getting it right. And I'll be watching out for that as much as possible. I'm also human, so if I miss something, feel free to speak up and let me know. And the final one, the big one, is lines and veils. I see some folks have already started putting some stuff on there. I've not put my standard ones on there. Basically, lines and veils are things that we do not want to see in the game. Lines are hard lines, things that we don't want to see. So it does not exist in our in the world of the game at all. So I generally have lines against sexual assault and homophobia and everything, all the associated phobias and isms that go along with that. But anything you want to go hit on that, go ahead. And lines supersede veils. Veils are things that do exist in the world of the game, but we don't want to see on screen. So one of my general lines is torture. Like maybe torture exists in the real world, but we're not going to see it on screen. And there's also an ask first column. So something that you may be theoretically okay with, we just want to ask before we go there and be cautious about it. And of course, there's the interest column. So if there's something that you're interested in seeing, I'm sure we will hit it and we'll take note of that. So take a few moments and go through the list of lines and veils and hit anything that you don't want to be in there. And if you can, when you're done, just give me a thumbs up or a done in the chat, and we'll go on from there. Good, done. Awesome. So let's take a look at what we have. So currently we have lines on cannibalism, homophobia, transphobia, racism, sexual assault, sexual violence, and fingernail injuries. So no fingernails, bad things happen to fingernails. Awesome. I think there might be some cannibalism baked into it. And if I veer into that, remind me and we will pull it back. I'll do my best to not get that in there. Veils are alcoholism, body horror, drug abuse, eye injuries, intimate partner violence. I'm actually going to throw a line on that. Religion and cults, sexism and sexual content, suicide and torture. Question about religion and cults, because I think there's going to be, I think that's kind of baked into some of the core of the game. Again,
Yeah,
we can work around it, but if I guess can I ask for more detail about that so we can make sure that we're not crossing anything there?
I'll message you about that because I don't feel comfortable going into detail
Great.
on each scene. This is something,
Awesome.
yeah.
Thank you.
generally
Thank you.
speaking.
Perfect. And we have ask first on mind control and slurs. Great. Awesome. So this is a living document. This we can update this at any time, adding new stuff, moving stuff around. And yeah, and we can have conversations about anything that's up there. Again, I'll generally not ask again, like not necessarily why something is there, just for details so that we can make sure not to hit anything adjacent to it, if that's all right with the people. Awesome. So let's see, we've got our safety talk done. Sweet. So now we can go into some character creation. Let me pause for a second. Does anyone have any questions about any of the safety stuff? All good. Awesome. Sweet. So before we begin character creation, and this is from the book again, before we begin character creation, I'd like to share a few more details about setting. The game takes place in and around the fictional town of Deep Lake, New Mexico. Deep Lake and surrounding De Goya County are in a remote part of the state. The town is fewer than 5,000 inhabitants, but the lake attracts vacationers and seasonal folks in, usually doubles the population in the summer. So you, the player characters, are a group of people in your early 20s who met on an internet forum and bonded over their shared history. You spent part of your childhood in the 1980s and early 1990s Deep Lake, and you were each latchkey kids and are fascinated by TV Odyssey. You didn't know each other when you lived in Deep Lake, but you found each other now. And under your new nickname, the Deep Lake Latchkeys, you intend to find out the true story of TV Odyssey. The Latchkeys are united by something else, though they aren't aware of it yet. Each of you suffered some kind of trauma in your childhood, and sharing and exploring that trauma is something that you'll do together as you get more involved in the mysteries surrounding the town. And we should avoid talking about these aspects of your latchkey, both in and out of character, until we are prompted to do so. There's specific parts of the rules that do that. And before the game starts, you will the Latchkeys decide to meet in person. You've rented a house on Rodenbecker Street in Deep Lake, and you're going to spend the summer there getting to the bottom of what happened to TV Odyssey. You haven't had much luck figuring out what happened to TV Odyssey by the time the game starts, but you will stumble onto some other mysteries in the town that will keep you occupied until then. So if you would like to take a look at the Latchkeys section of there. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me hide that last one. So go ahead and let's do first name alphabetical order. Who has which slot, just so there's no stumbling about. I guess that would be going from on screen: Billy, Ellie, Rue, and Sasha. So go ahead and put your player name there. And this, man, these character keepers are so great. They're so good. There's actually a character creation section on there now. So basically you're gonna be picking your character's name and surname. There's drop-down lists for those. You are not bound to them. If you have a name that you'd like, drop it in there, of course. Give pronouns for your characters and pick a style that's right under the main colored bar there. These are all references to 80s and 90s things. If there's something that doesn't make sense or you'd like to figure out what it is, ask questions and we'll get that there. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait until everyone gets their names and styles picked out and we'll take it from there.
These are good. I was 20 years old in 2004, so there's lots of stuff to seriously consider what I want to revisit here for us. For STEM.
Excellent.
Yeah. Oh, right. I'm not filling that out yet. Right. I'm waiting for Billy here. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Oh, Room, I'm glad you took I'm Too Emo for my face because I was having a super hard time deciding between hoodie under blazer or Too Emo.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Too emo kind of described me in high school too. So
Well, that was it.
playing to my strengths.
How close do I want to veer to how I actually?
Yeah, I think that's the one that I'm gonna stick with.
Awesome. And go ahead and pick 3 items that take you back. These are basically if you've played Brindlewood Bay, there's the cozy scene, or the between, there's the intimate scene. Basically, these are you'll have scenes that you will have with each other where you can kind of refresh yourselves, and you will bring up one of these things during that scene. So pick any 3 that feel good. Yeah, it's hard not to be like, oh yeah, this was me. Yeah. Nice. Okay, cool. So now we'll look at our stats, our abilities. Everyone starts off with the ones you see there. If you're not familiar, I'll go over them briefly, and you can actually hover over them and it'll give you a little description of what they are. Vitality is basically what you use if your action involves strength, dexterity, endurance, athleticism, any sort of physical stuff. Composure is if this is something that needs you to kind of keep yourself under control, concentrate, keep up a face, steady hand. Reason is for if you're studying, researching, searching for stuff, or any brain work. Presence is your charisma skill is for charming people, intimidating people, persuading people. And sensitivity is the latchkey's occult or supernatural ability. There are supernatural things in the game, clearly, and a lot of times they will come up and we will be rolling with sensitivity. We start off with -1, but you can always choose to bump it up. So yeah, go ahead and just add 1 to one of the scores, and we will then talk about the questions. Oh yeah, little triangles for the mouse overs are hidden because the background is black there. So cool. Awesome. Cool. So below that, you will see some Dawn questions. The first Dawn question. So Dawn questions are how you get XP at the end of a cycle. The first one is always going to be there. Did you resolve a mystery? There is a second one that is locked until something happens in the game. And then you can choose questions from the drop downs for the other 2. So basically pick things from this list that you might find fun to doing or that you'd like to be pushed to do in the game. These are also good.
So for going out of your way to reconnecting with Deep Lake, is the idea here that we moved away or whatever for a while and now we're coming back? And
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. And I usually run these kind of like I know Blades does it. Basically, you're the one answering this. So if you felt like you did this, take the XP. I'm always going to lean in favor of advancement because that's fun.
I think the game also specifically mentions we're all from Deep Lake, but it makes a point that we didn't know each other when we lived here.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Cool. So we've got those dumb questions, and here's the big fun. Everyone's going to choose a latchkey move, and those are listed on the reference/moves tab at the far right. And you have to scroll right to see the latchkey moves there. Basically, everyone gets one special move. They have to be unique, so two people can't have the same one. And this is your superpower, basically. It's a lot of things that either bump up scores or let you roll different ways or affect the game somehow, get clues. So pick something that looks fun. There's really no bad choices. And yeah, if you have questions about anything, since we haven't gone over all the mechanics yet, feel free to ask, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. And they're also in the drop downs. So at the bottom of near the bottom of the sheet, there's the latchkey moves. There are, just pick one from the top drop down. And I think they also have the descriptions in there. Yeah. And again, this is for fun. So if you pick a move and you decide, in the next session or so that you don't like it, we can always just say, pick one that's more suited to your conception. Cool. So good.
Seeing, because you have to pop into the drop down menu, right, to see what they
Yeah. Yeah, and we're only choosing one each. Sorry if that's wasn't clear. Yeah,
Okay.
you're good. You're good. Yeah, you have. I think there's some advancements to get you more moves as we go forward, so you'll get a chance to play with more.
I love that truth is out there move. That's so good.
Yeah.
I'm definitely torn between strange things are afoot. The Circle K, the truth is out.
Both good.
Someone's taken the truth is out there. Perfect. That means.
Oh, there you go.
That means strange things are about the Circle K, and I don't have to agonize over the decision anymore.
If you prefer truth is out there, I don't mind.
We feel good with our choices. Awesome. Cool. So before we fill in anything else, we'll go around and introduce our characters. So after this, we're going to be adding items to your corner of the house, basically, that give you good things in the game. But before we do that, we want to hear who y'all are. So let's just go in character keeper order. Billy, would you like to tell us about Michael Toomey?
All right. Michael Toomey. I chose the cargo shorts and Triforce t-shirt style, but I think it's more like horror graphic t-shirts that he wears, not necessarily video games. He does play video games, but he's obsessed with horror series like Halloween or Friday the 13th. And he has an avid subscription to Fangoria magazine, all that kind of, special effects stuff, splatter stuff. He loves reading about the making of movies. He spends a lot of time also on forums. That's how he met the other Latchkeys, obviously. And he's also on the Ghost Bro Mystery Show forum because of my Latchkey move. So he's pretty dialed into the B movie Hollywood scene that includes special effects, stuff like that.
Nice.
He's just fascinated by special effects, makeup, and stuff like that.
Awesome. Does Billy have a job? Does he do anything for a living?
I think he probably works as like a waiter somewhere. I don't know if it's a big deal, but he wants to try to find movie stuff he can PA on and stuff like that.
Nice. And so those are kind of your plans for the future, get into movies somehow.
Yeah,
Cool.
after we figure out what's going on here.
Nice. Do you have a significant other back home? Who are they and what do they do?
He had a boyfriend, but they had a big falling out when he decided to come back to Deep Lake for the summer and rent a house with a bunch of strangers.
Mm. Cool. Awesome. Thank you. Ellie, tell us about Erica.
All right. Uh, Erica Schrader with her quintessential hoodie under the blazer style. Erica gives off serious, art school film student kind of vibes because she's definitely an aspiring filmmaker with her kind of nostalgia and enjoyment centering around those old choose your own adventure books. She can bust out a TV theme song at the drop of a hat, probably unsolicited most of the time. She definitely knows all the words. And while she would never admit it, at film school or whatever, she has a deep and undying love for Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. Her favorite movie may or may not be Time Cop, but she will never admit it at school because she's going to be a serious filmmaker. Like, yeah, her but underneath that straight-laced exterior, she believes in the fundamental goodness and power of convenience stores. Back home in Quebec, we call them the dépanneur, and many a misspent youth of Erica's were there, just hanging around at the corner store, seeing how much candy you can get for $1 that day, and if you need something, if you're in a pinch, you can find it at the convenience store. She'll find you something. Yeah.
Does Erica have a job or just go to school?
Just go to school. At least typically to put herself through school, she's been working as a grocery store checkout clerk.
Nice. Do you have a significant other back home?
Oh, there's that one guy, Roger, at school, but no, didn't. Gotta live my life, man.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you. And Rue, let's hear about Parker.
Okay, so Parker Remit is too emo for their face. They are one of those that wear a lot more like black and checkered, but they did have a softer side with their Easy Bake Oven and his love of read all the Babysitter Club books, had them all in order, and would actually recategorize the ones at the library. I may be speaking from experience with that one. And I feel like they have the come with me if you want to live, because they might be more of an anxious person, and so they need to know, like, okay, I'm walking into someplace unfamiliar, where are these exits, like, what am I going to do if something goes down? Right. So yeah.
Cool. Does Parker have a job?
I think that they work at like one of those 1-hour photo places. Yes. Just sort of paying the bills.
Awesome. And is there anyone special back home?
I think they might have a crush on their roommate, but nothing has developed there.
Probably the best. Cool. Thank you. And finally, Sasha, let's hear about David.
Yep, I'm playing David Oakes. His style is bootcut and bougie. I think he was always kind of a prep, the kind of kid everyone thought, okay, he's gonna like be the one who makes it, gets out of town. And he did, went to a nice school and got a really high-paying job at a little startup called Enron, which unfortunately didn't end well a couple of years ago. So he just saw that whole thing collapse all around him. So he's been out of work for a couple of years, doing odd jobs to get by. And I think that's when he got really into this whole TV Odyssey mystery as a way to kind of ignore the implosion of his life.
Nice. And your special move is The Truth Is Out There. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Someone is helping you behind the scenes. Great. Oh, ooh, nice. Does he have a job currently?
I think probably doing odd jobs here and there, like temp work, but he can't live up to the lifestyle he was accustomed to.
Right. What's his plans for the future?
I think he's been probably paying off all the debt he still has from his Enron stocks.
That makes sense. And finally, is there a significant other back home?
I think he was probably dating someone like a fellow yuppie back during his Enron days. When again things went bad, the relationship kind of imploded. So he's just been kind of like alone, living with like roommates he barely knows to get straight by.
Cool. Awesome. Great. These are super exciting characters. I can't wait to see more of them. So the next part of what we're going to do now is each of us or each of you is going to pick one thing to put in another character's, each character's corner of the house. Corner of the house, these are items that if you can use them in a roll, you can check them off and get advantage on the roll. So you get a higher chance of succeeding. So let's go in reverse character keeper order and start with David. And yeah, let's just go down the line. And so that your corner of the house stuff is near the bottom. There's a lot of space for things because you wind up with a lot of things. What does David have in his corner of the house? And anyone can go.
I might have something. I think you have a set or like a few sets of like really nice suits, like really nice clothes that you could wear to impress somebody.
Excellent. And of course, you can veto any of these if they're not fitting with what you want.
I dig it.
Do you think that he would have like a credit card with like a high limit that he's just sort of saving in his back pocket?
I think he may have kept that hidden from like the auditors. Yeah.
Nice.
I think he has a plain, pristine, single white coffee cup, just like the one Dale Cooper used.
I dig it.
I love it. Awesome. Let's see. What does Parker have in their corner of the house?
I don't know how much like effect it would be on the game, but what about like you have a sent back like a signed note from the author of the Babysitters Club, like a fan letter you wrote and they wrote you back?
Oh, I think that works. It
Nice.
can be used for something, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
we'll fit it in somewhere.
Yeah, and one of the things I like to emphasize is that you don't have to use the actual object itself. You can like use it as inspiration for like, oh, the confidence I got from this thing helps me out in this role. Check it out there. So don't worry about having to use it literally. Whatever works.
A CD
else?
player. I think if anyone in this house has a CD player for all those Evanescent CDs, it's
I think
Nice.
that's great. Yes.
I think he still has his childhood easy bake oven.
I could be the one that makes the snacks for the group.
Amazing. Great. These are all great. Let's talk about Erica. What does Erica have in her corner of the house?
Do you think Erica would play an instrument, play those theme songs on some kind of instrument? Like she just
Ooh.
knows all these TV show themes on like her electric guitar or her violin or something.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's give her let's give her an electric guitar there. Sure.
Do you think that she'd have like a camcorder?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I want to say a pair of nunchucks signed by Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I'll finish up with Michael. What does he have in his corner of the house?
I immediately thought, since he's like a horror buff, would you have like a rubber mask, like of one of your favorite characters, I
Yeah.
guess?
Yeah, I could do like the William Shatner Halloween mask from the first one.
I say he has a very high quality makeup kit. You know, like
That's perfect.
SFX sort of thing.
Yeah.
Go for a a keychain given to him by the boyfriend he left behind.
Oof.
Perfect in a terrible, terrible way.
Awesome. I love it. So yeah, looks like we have some characters here. Like these are all amazing and juicy. I love it. So we're gonna take our first break now. It's a little bit early, but that's cool. Let's take 10 minutes. You can think about your characters. If you'd like to find and throw a picture in there, there's a slot for the image URL if you want to put it, grab it from online, or paste it in however you like. If you can't find an image, don't sweat it. And I will get things ready for our first day. Super exciting. Cool. Any questions or anything before we go to break?
Are we just taking 5 or how long?
Let's take 10.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome. We will see you in 10.
Oh, I totally forgot the little tidbit. I chose Oregon Trail because I'm from Oregon. I know everybody said where they were from. So I'm from Oregon and I live in Washington now, but I thought that was funny.
Awesome.
And I used to play that all the time.
It didn't make Oregon seem like a super great place to live.
Yeah, I remember being a teenager and one of my friends legitimately asked me if everybody still rides horses around here. So
I just saw that they shut down the last 2 Walmarts in Oregon. So there's no more Walmarts in Oregon. That's fun.
yeah, I used to work for Walmart. In fact, to connect two things, I worked in Walmart and I worked in the 1 hour photo department. Funny enough.
Wow.
There you go. Cool. Let's see. Welcome back. We're back. So one last thing to mention about the setting, I guess. Although the game is set in 2004 and we probably have a pretty good handle on it, and there's lots of references to pop culture of the 90s, we're not going to worry about historical accuracy at all, just like, you know, it was Victorian London or you know, any other place. So we'll do our best to represent the technology and culture, but if we make mistakes, that's fine. The important part is at the time we're talking about, people with marginalized identities would have been treated poorly in society, and we're going to just completely ignore that part of history unless it's super important for some reason. I can't imagine why it would be, but we'll always stay within the bounds of our safety stuff as discussed. Awesome. If there's nothing else, we can begin. And I have a little piece of text to read. I think this is the last piece of text I have to read from the book. Awesome. You all have met on a small online forum called the Deep Lake Odyssey. The people who gather on this forum are interested in the mystery of a public access station in Deep Lake, New Mexico called TV Odyssey, which broadcasts on cable channel 94. TV Odyssey operated from the late 1970s to the early 1990s, offering studio space to and airing a variety of local productions. The station literally physically disappeared in 1992. At the time, local officials said a fire burned the station down, but there's no evidence to support that at all. The station just vanished. Even more strange, the people of Deep Lake and surrounding Dagoya County can't remember TV Odyssey, or if they do, they're not talking about it. The only evidence that TV Odyssey ever existed is the vague recollection of people on the forum and the so-called Odyssey tapes. These Odyssey, capital O, Odyssey tapes are VHS recordings that supposedly contain episodes of the various shows that aired on Channel 94. The Odyssey tapes are recognizable by their distinctive purple clamshells, paper inserts that have Dayglow pyramids and donut gates. The Odyssey tapes also have physical properties that are unexplainable by science. The content of the tapes can only be viewed at night and cannot be transferred to any other medium. Attempting to watch one during the day or from an internet upload have all failed. The image just shows a blank blue screen. So you've got to know each other on the forum over the course of a few months and decided to spend the summer in Deep Lake, looking for the mystery of the TV Odyssey and hoping to snag an Odyssey tape or two. You're going to have some good luck with that, I think. You each lived in Deep Lake when you were kids back in the late 80s and early 90s, though you didn't know each other at the time. You have vague recollections of TV Odyssey, and you hope that pooling your knowledge and resources together might help you get to the bottom of what happened. Worst case scenario, you spend a few months in a small tourist town with some friends. So you rented 26 Rodenbecker Street, a house in Deep Lake, and you've been there for a few weeks, and you haven't made much progress on a TV Odyssey. No one wants to talk in town, and you certainly haven't found any Odyssey tapes. Almost. But all that changed this morning. Someone left an Odyssey tape on your doorstep. It is the tape of... It is the Happy Jack 06 Duress Signal Pure White Pretext is the label. You will watch it in due time, maybe tonight. But there's something else. Another mystery just appeared. And the mystery we're going to do first is, bring it over here. Our first mystery is the house on Escondido Street. So this particular morning, a young man, Casey Wilcox, shows up at the house on Rodenbecker Street. He's heard about your investigation of TV Odyssey, and he doesn't know much about it, but he thinks you might be interested in another Deep Lake mystery, the house on Escondido Street. He explains that 18 Escondido Street has been abandoned since 1994, when the family that lived there, the Rappaports, disappeared without a trace. Casey, one of the kids, Casey, the guy who's bringing it to you, was 10 years old then and friends with Elliot, who was the youngest of the two Rappaport children. The other Rappaports are Dad Hugh, Mom Sherry, and Elliot's older sister Abigail. He doesn't remember there being anything strange going on with the family at the time, which made their sudden disappearance all the more bewildering. And 18 Escondido has become a local legend in the 10 years since classic haunted house right in the middle of Deep Lake. People avoid it, they say it has bad energy, and apart from a few bits of vandalism here and there, the house is largely as the Rappaports left it. Erica. Casey's story includes a detail that makes you think that 18 Escondido Street is, in fact, evil. What is that detail?
Mentioned something about there being this this weird smell in the kitchen that never quite went away. Kind of like, if you forget a mouse in a trap or something, but there was nothing actually there.
Nice.
Like, it smells weird. It doesn't smell right, but only in that one room. It's just in the kitchen.
Interesting. Cool. Love it. So awesome. We are going to go to the day phase. I'll switch that over on the character keeper. So the game is split up into pretty strict phases: day, dusk, night, and dawn. Cycle repeats. Basically, the day phase is yours to do what you like, investigate, hang out, explore character stuff, pretty much anything you like to do with the characters. The dusk scene is where we set up night. So I'll be asking you what you're going to be doing. And if you have a tape, are you going to watch it? And then depending on whether you watch the tape or not, the night will go one way or the other. The night is generally a lot more dangerous. So it's a lot more fun. And dawn is basically an upkeep phase where we do XP and sort some stuff out. But right now it's daytime. And it looks like our friend David has a move that gives us an Odyssey tape. So that is the one I just said, which is right here.
The truth is that
Happy Jack 06 duress signal ? Pure white pretext ? I'm going to put that in the, so I think we have in the mysteries tab, if I'm not correct. Yeah. So we have a list of the tapes here on the left side. Oops, get that. Cool. So these can only be watched at night. So you don't have to worry about it until now. And David has somebody helping behind the scenes is how that move works. Someone who knows what happened to TV Odyssey is helping you behind the scenes. The latchkeys immediately get an Odyssey tape. And at the beginning of each session, this mysterious person is going to leave something else for you where you can find it. And that's going to be a clue. So That's fun. Cool. So Casey is Casey's from around here. He's got a blonde faux hawk, kind of like a flame print, like bowling shirt. Has a little scar on his face. Super nice guy, and pretty popular with folks. He was really hit hard by the disappearance of his friend 10 years ago, though, and never really got over it. So the day is yours. Do y'all have any inclination of what you would like to do? And there are moves and stuff, and I'll introduce those as we hit them.
I'd like to visit the local realtor, see if we can find a little bit about what's happened to the house since the family abandoned it.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I think Michael will go to, I don't know if a small town like this would maybe have their like newspaper stuff in a library. They'd go there and look for stuff that pertains to Escondido Street.
Awesome. And sorry, go ahead.
I think Erica's going to go take a little chat with some of the neighbors.
Nice. The neighbors of Escondido Street.
Neighbors of 18 Escondido Street.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah, I think Parker wants to go and kind of look around the house, see if I can get any vibes from what's going on up close. So I think they're going to go with Erica.
Cool. So Parker and Erica are a team. Awesome. There's so many good things to start here. It's so hard to pick. This is the hardest part of running this game because there's so many great places to start. Let's see. Yeah, let's start off with Michael at the archives. So there is a small-ish library. They do have archives, mostly on microfiche, so you can look through those. Yeah, and have you been to the library already, or is this your first time visiting? Did you go there as a kid?
No, I don't think he went there as a kid. I think that he tried to avoid the library when he was younger.
Nice.
Stuck in his own magazines. But now that he's got a historical reason to visit, that's what he's going to do. It's all new to him.
Cool. Would the librarian recognize you?
I think maybe based on his clothes, he probably still wears the same kind of like he probably has a Friday the 13th crew zip up that he bought on eBay or something like that. So they might recognize, because he's pretty heavy. That's like his identity is those movies.
Awesome. I think it's a little shopping center. It's kind of quaint, and definitely from like it was built in the early 80s probably. It's got sort of like cedar wood shingles, and there's like a little hardware store and a little candy shop, or fudge shop, because that's what vacation towns have. And the library actually is in the basement, so you go downstairs and it's pretty nice. The ceilings are a little low. Fluorescent lights keep it bright and cheery. There's a colorful kids section over on one side, and librarian Patricia sees you as you come in and kind of like looks over her glasses at you. Is that Toomey boy? What was your name?
Hi, my name's Michael.
Well,
Michael Toomey.
You used to live here, didn't you? What brings you back?
Yeah. I'm, just coming back to visit, reacquainting myself with where I came from, stuff like that.
Well, nice to have you here. Is there anything I can help you with?
Yeah, I was wondering if you guys have some microfiche or old newspapers. I just want to look through some of the old headlines from when I was a kid, see if anything sticks out.
Writing a paper or a news article? Are you a reporter now?
No, well, I use the internet. I write stuff on the internet.
Oh, well, we have one of
So-
those over here.
Yeah, I was actually going to use the computer a bit later if I couldn't figure anything out through the
course.
old archives.
And we have a
That's
sign up sheet at the
okay.
front desk. Yeah.
Perfect.
So the archives are in the back over on the east side there by the periodicals.
Okay,
If you
perfect.
need
So
any
I'll
help with the
sign up
machinery, great.
and then I'll go back there. That sounds
Awesome.
good to me. I hope I can bother you if I need some help finding
Oh,
some
it's
stuff.
it's no bother.
Thank you very
yeah,
much.
I'm
And
here all
he'll
day.
walk over to sign out a computer for probably about an hour or so.
Great. Let's go ahead and just do a meddling move here. So the meddling move is the move we're going to roll probably the most. And this is the roll we make when you're searching for a clue or doing research or searching around an area. So what we're going to do is figure out which ability is most appropriate. We're going to roll 2 dice and add that ability, and we'll see what happens after that. So I think since we're just doing straight up research, where are we here?
I feel like it's
Um,
probably a reason.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a reason. So
Okay.
let's pop open. So if you don't have the dice roller open, it's on the info tab, and I'll also drop a copy in chat here if I can find where that is. Great. Cool. So go ahead and drop 2d6 plus 1 in there, and we will see what happens.
Okay, I should be in the room. So 2d6 plus 1.
Five. Amazing. So a 5 is a miss. That means that something untoward is going to happen. And we'll come back around and talk about what that is in just a moment.
Perfect.
Great. David, tell me about this realtor you're visiting.
Yeah, it's a pretty small town, so I think it's like, a single person, maybe a couple, real family business vibe. You walk in, it's a small space, couple of desks, someone in there wearing a red blazer,
Mhm.
that sort of vibe.
Yeah, and they have, in fact, they have ads up like on bus stop benches and stuff like that. It's the Baxters came in Dutch Baxter, and yeah, they have. I think they are kind of trying to lure in summer vacationers to buy or lease a place here instead of like staying in a hotel or
Yeah.
cabin or whatever. And yeah, they are in a like it's not great strip mall alongside like there's a leather working shop and like a auto parts store, and they're in there. They've done it up as nicely as possible, but it still kind of looks like a bus station a little bit. And as soon as you walk in, the door ding dings, and you see there's a man in a red blazer who is at a desk, kind of frustratedly picking at a computer, and his eyes light up when he sees you, and immediately stands up and straightens his shirt out, and like kind of square, kind of grayish blonde hair, blue eyes, and when he comes up, he gives you a little bit too firm of a handshake and says, Dutch Baxter Realty, how can I help you find a home here in Deep Lake?
How the hell are you doing, the Dutch? I'm David, visiting town with the wife, and she's just fallen in love with the place.
Well, there's a
Doesn't
lot to
wanna-
love. There's a lot to love
yeah.
here.
Just driving by, we passed a house. You know what? We were told no one's living
Oh.
there.
Oh, really?
It's on Escondido Street, I believe. I just was wondering about the property. What can you tell me about it?
On Escondido Street, you say?
Escondido Street, yes.
I don't believe there's any listings open in that area.
Well, there
And
was
his demeanor goes from enthusiastic to like, "Are you fucking with me?"
well, Dutch. We passed by it. Didn't seem to be anyone living there. People said it was on the market.
Who said that?
Uh, just some locals, you know.
Just locals around the
Mhm.
area.
Didn't get their name. Just seemed like a nice fella. I think his name was Casey or something like that.
You didn't see a for sale sign there, did you?
Well, you know, the wife, she really fell in love with the place. You know, they started a family soon, and could really see ourselves there, you know. And
And his demeanor kind of brightens up again. He's like, "Well, if you're looking for a place to raise a family, I have a lot of options for you. That that house has been off the market for a long time. I think there's some maybe some chemicals or some radon or something. It's a bad time."
well, Dutch, this is America. You can buy anything for enough.
Awesome. So what is your intention here? Are you trying to just get information from him, or are you trying to get him to do something else for you?
I mostly just want to get a sense of the history of the house. You know,
Awesome.
like, and maybe a sense of like other owners. Like, no one has lived there since the original family.
Hmm. Cool. Let's go ahead and do a meddling move for you then. And it feels like this one is going to be presence, since you're trying to kind of charm him. Does that sound
Okay.
good?
Yeah, I'm gonna mark my set of nice suits. You know, I put on my
Ooh.
Sunday best, try and like charm them, not look like, you know, a disheveled ex-Enron employee.
Excellent. Cool. So in that case, you'll be rolling 3 dice and you'll take the top 2. And your presence is 0. Great. So 3 dice, top 2, straight up, and we'll see what happens.
I love
That
that
is
the
a
suits are being
7.
used.
Cool. That is a
Perfect.
10. Awesome. 255. Top 2 is a 10. Awesome. He kind of, I think his like a lot of emotions go through his face. He is, kind of confused that anyone would say anything good about that house. He's also a little bit disturbed that you're so into it, but you can tell there's a glint of avarice in his eyes, and he's like, if I can get someone to this will be great. And yeah, he says, you know what? I think I know just the thing. I need to give someone a call real quick. And do you have time to wait here? There's like a coffee machine that like brewed coffee this morning, sitting out. Like, grab a cup of coffee. I'll be right back with you. Are you okay to wait?
Yeah, of course. Take your time, Dutch.
Great. Awesome. So about that house, let's see. Erica and Parker, you're both checking out the neighborhood. Are you staying together, or are you splitting up to do your separate things?
Parker, you said you want to investigate, right?
Yeah, I think I want to like snoop out the yard. Are you going to be talking to the neighbors?
Yeah, that's what I'm envisioning here is that Erica's, running the distraction by talking to the neighbors, getting stuff that way while you.
Oh, so no one will like catch me looking around. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Let's talk to the neighbors first then. Erica, I think, let me take a look at this house again. Yeah, so do you roll up to the house together? How do you get there? Did you rent a car? Do you have a car? Did you take the bus? Did you walk?
I feel like as a aspiring film student, Erica would very much have a super old beater car for getting around from set to set.
Nice. Great. So you find the house pretty easily. It's a small town. and you roll up on it, and it is set back a little bit from the street. Looks like it was built in the 60s or so. It's got a reasonable sized lot, and there's it's kind of in the back and on the sides there are some nice big pine trees sort of enclosing it.
Is this a nice neighborhood?
It is. It's not a bad neighborhood. It's in the middle. It is definitely like a solidly middle class neighborhood.
Still nice. My 1988 rusty Honda Civic.
Yeah, and I think you can definitely pass there. The yard itself is kind of overgrown, very overgrown. There's it's a few, it looks like a place, like a clean spot on one side of the house where someone had tagged it and it was washed off. Otherwise, it doesn't look like dilapidated house-wise, though. It just seems like a little bit too average house. There are neighbors a bit away, and you can kind of hear like the sound of like a motor, like a leaf blower, or they did lawnmower or something like that coming from one of the houses. So Erica wanted to go over and check out the neighbors first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just takes a minute or two to get over there. There's a little bit of space between the houses, not real packed up like in a suburb. And as you approach one of the neighbors' houses, there's a guy with there's a riding lawnmower next to him that is not being used at the moment, but he does have some electric what do you call it, like hedge trimmer thing, and he's got he's got plastic goggles on. He's kind of got a 5 o'clock shadow or a 10 o'clock shadow, wearing gloves and the boots, and he is dutifully trimming very neatly across the top of the hedges between this house 16, I guess, and number 18 Escondido Street. How do you approach him?
Don't get hurt. Kind of go like full on onto the side, onto the lawn, like waving. Excuse me, sir. Hey.
Yeah, and he gives you kind of looks second, holds up a finger, tells you to wait, turns off the hedge trimmer, takes off the goggles, and says, "Yeah, can I help you?"
Hi, I'm Erica Schrader from insert university name here. I don't know any American ones. I'm from the university. I'm doing a huge project. Okay, it's my final semester. I'm a film student, and I've heard awesome stories about the haunted house next door. I'm doing kind of like a Blair Witch kind of thing, but not a ripoff. It's a whole new thing. Anyways, what can you tell me about number 18 over there? Is it, like everyone says that the disappearances were kind of weird, right?
That's a lot. Yeah. You're doing a movie?
But
And
yes,
he kind of like takes the goggles off and like slicks back his eyebrows a little bit. He's like,
yes,
what kind of movie are you doing?
it's going to be my grad project. Did you see that film a few years ago? The Blair Witch, where they're in the forest with the camcorders and the
I'm not much for that kind of thing.
ring? No? Okay, well, look, anyways, it's going to be great. I will credit you as a consultant on the film if you can just help me out here with some more info about number 18.
And kind of scratches his head for a second. Does consulting pay at all?
It gets your name out there.
Well, I got a pretty good job taking care of most of the houses on the street. So my name is already out there, if you know what I mean. I never thought I'd be an actor or anything, but you know, the Blakes aren't home. I can finish up. What do you think? There's a witch there? What's going on?
Well, I don't know what's there. You see, I've heard all the legends about the Rappaport family disappearing without trace. The house has just been there for what, abandoned for 10 years, and it's in perfect condition.
Yeah, well, it's no legend. It happened. They were there and then they weren't. I used to take care of the house. And let's make a meddling roll. I love this. Do you feel like this is presence?
Yeah, she is totally putting on the schmooze. Very little of what she's saying right now is true.
Awesome.
All right.
Cool. Let's go 2 dice plus 1 then.
Do you on this roll, do I have the modifier before or after hitting that 2d6?
Either way is whatever's easier for you.
All right.
Cool. That is a 9. Great. So this is a partial success, which means that you'll get a clue, but there's going to be a complication.
Excellent.
Yeah, and so he kind of thoughtfully strokes for a minute, like, and it looks like he's kind of staring off in middle distance a little bit. I used to work on that yard, and even after the Rappaports disappeared, I mean, Debbie, Hugh's sister, she's the one that keeps the place the way it is, and she was happy to pay me to keep it up. But yeah, I was around back one day, and I keep my own tools. This is my business. I keep everything clean, well oiled, maintained. But it looked like someone else had left some gardening tools there. I don't know if they were someone had decided to plant a garden in the backyard on the sly or what, but there was a spade, one of the claw things, a hoe, one of those seed hole diggers, and I thought they were just left out in the rain. I went to go clean them up, and they were all they were dirty, all right, but it wasn't just dirt. There was blood caked all over them. And it looked like they'd been used, like, to dig. I don't want to think about it. That was the last day I spent there. I told Debbie I just couldn't do it anymore, and I never set foot in that yard since.
Did you tell Debbie or anyone else about that?
Oh yeah. They didn't know where it came from. They just thought it was some people messing around. That place is no good.
Gosh, I will take that. I will take your word for it. This is great material, by the way. I'm sorry, what was your name?
My name was Chuck. Yeah, I mean, people think I'm just they think I just do lawns, but my job is actually, I think my job here is really important, kind of like connecting the community with the land, right? The earth. No one else cares about that here. It's all desert until you get into the city, right? Into town, I mean.
Yeah, it is a shame how the town's gone. Anyways, it was just lovely meeting you, Chuck, and I hold out my hand.
Likewise, and he does like a dirty glove. Awesome. So Chuck just gave you a clue that is on the mystery sheet under the clue section, a little bit down on the house on Escondido Street. section there. So clues we will be able to use to answer questions about the mystery as we go along. I didn't introduce the questions for the mystery here. This mystery only has one question, and it's what happened to the Rappaports. So basically, if you're not familiar with it, you will collect clues, and when you feel like you have enough to figure something out, you will roll 2 dice minus the complexity plus the number of clues. So basically that means if you have 6 clues and you can work them all into your theory, you'll be rolling straight. More clues is a bonus, fewer clues is a minus. And we'll probably get there soon. Awesome. I would love to hear what Parker is doing at the house.
Okay, so is there like a fence around the property? Just so I can kind of understand how it's laid out.
There's hedges around the 2 sides, and then around back there's a stand of these pines.
Okay, I think Parker's just gonna just go straight to the front door and just try it. I mean, it looks so nice, kind of
Ooh, yeah.
outside. Just try the front door.
Yeah, the door is locked, and yeah, you don't see. You would think that there might be like a key box or something there. Look under the mat. There's not a key under there, but you can tell there. The doorknob has been like it's not dusty or dirty or anything. It possibly has been used recently. Yeah.
Okay.
How would you like to try to get in? And there's a little porch with windows.
Okay. Can I peer into the windows?
You absolutely can. Yeah, let's do this. So I'm going to make this a day move since you're outside looking in there.
Okay.
So one of the basic moves is the day move. This is the main thing we're going to be rolling during the day or when we're feeling safe. So when you do something risky or face something that you fear, I'm going to ask you what you're afraid will happen, and then we're going to pick an ability to roll with, and we'll roll. So a 10 plus is a hit. We get to see the thing. 6 minus, something bad's going to happen. On 7 and 9, there'll be some kind of complication, and I'll tell you what the complication is, and you can choose to not go through with it at that point, or go forward.
Okay.
So, what are you afraid of seeing in there?
I think I'm afraid of seeing something super out of the ordinary. Like this house looks pretty normal, so I'd expect to see maybe like furniture, whatever, but what if there's like a ghost or a body or just someone living in there and no one knew about it? So I'm afraid of seeing something unsettling.
Great. This totally sounds like a composure roll to me, since you're trying to keep yourself together. So this is going to be 2 dice plus 1 for your composure.
Okay.
2 dice, 6 plus 1 for your composure is a 7, right?
Yes.
Cool. So you got a mixed success, which means you're going to do the thing, but there's going to be a complication. Let me think. Oh, sorry. So how your actions would leave you vulnerable. I think the thing that is you're so intently peering into the windows that if someone came up behind you, you would not notice until it was too late. So do you still want to go through with this?
Yes.
Awesome. Great. What you see inside is what you see inside is kind of a living room. I'm trying to think if there's a better way to describe it, but it's a living room. It's got like a kind of maroon sectional sofa in there, facing. So the couch is, or the sofa is against the wall that you're looking at.
Okay.
You can kind of like, as you're peering around, you can see there's looks like an entertainment center there, and it's dark inside, and you can as you're peering in there, you can kind of see a little red glow near the bottom going on and off. So you imagine that there is a TV, maybe a VCR, maybe a stereo there.
Mhm.
Looking around in here, how can you tell that this was the most frequented room in the house?
I'm gonna say that they have like one of those clothes and bag chairs, like you just come in
Mm,
and you have the place where you just throw all your, like there's kid jackets and
ooh,
adult and
yeah.
like maybe a purse and a pile of shoes. So you know that people hung out here whenever
Awesome.
they first got home.
Right. And the other thing you notice is, so you see that kind of blinking, which means that something is plugged in. There's no other lights on inside. You don't see any evidence that anything else is working inside.
Okay.
And as you're kind of straining to see in there, you feel a hand on your shoulder.
Oh gosh.
So let's jump back. Let's jump back to the library. So we rolled a miss on that, right?
We did.
We did. Oh, this is fantastic. First roll is a miss. Great. Ooh, yeah. So you find the story dated 1994 about the disappearance, and scroll through. And it's Hugh and Cherry Rappaport disappeared. And you kind of you scroll back to look for some other details, and you must have scrolled too far because it's just an ad for a car dealership. You scroll back down, the microfiche lets you kind of like pan around, and you pan back to where the story is. And the story is just about, there was a storm over the summer that had knocked the power out. And you zoom back out and see if you can find the story again. And you swear like you see the details, Rappaport, and zoom in, and the text has changed, like almost feels like it kind of blurs out and changes while you're looking at it. Yeah. So
Is this the part where I tell you I should probably turn a key to make it a 7 to 9?
If you'd like to, yeah. So let's talk about that. Yeah, I didn't talk about that at all. Let's talk about this. So there are keys on your character sheet. The keys. There's two sets of keys: the key of the child and the key of desolation. Guess which one is worse. These are basically the latchkey's way to bump your success up a tier. So if you rolled a miss, you can turn a key to bump it up to a 7 and 9. If you rolled a 7 and 9, you can bump it up to a full success. And you can actually bump up a full success to a 12 plus if you want to. This is really useful when something really bad happens. So you may, and this will be telegraphed ahead of time probably, you may be very hurt or die as the result of a bad roll. That's okay, because you can always turn a key and we rewind that and see what happens at the next level up. And before we turn a key, we talk through what it looks like, because that is fun to see an alternate universe where things went terrible and then roll it back. So yeah, this is a perfect example. I was about to do a day move on you to see how unnerving this is, but turning a key is going to be great for this. We get to exercise all the bits and pieces. So there's two sections. There's the key of the child, and there's a bunch of those that are basically you doing flashbacks, narrating flashbacks to your childhood. You can pick those in any order. The key of desolation is worse. you have to do them in the order that they're in. The first one gives you an extra dawn question, so that's an extra way to get XP. But as you go down, they get worse until the pure white signal at the end. That's basically when you will be exiting the game. And if someone manages to do that during the course of this, it's quick to roll up another character and we can just bring someone else in. Awesome. So you said you'd like to turn a key. What kind of key would you like to turn?
I'm gonna turn a key of desolation. I'm gonna do the sandstone arch.
Ooh, awesome. So go ahead and click that box, and that will unlock the next box for you there too. And you can also unlock your dawn question. Did you receive a signal? I think it will unlock when you click the sandstone
Yeah, it
arch.
unlocks on its own. Perfect.
Awesome.
These
Cool.
character keepers are so good.
They're so good. Oh, Ben does such an amazing job on all these. Awesome. So you are probably going to be very disturbed by this. But since you turn the key, there's no other effect besides unlocking that dawn question. So yeah, we'll roll back, and you do get some information, and that information is. Yeah, there is a. So along the story pretty much tells you what you already know. There is just about the disappearance. There's a quote from the neighbor. There is a quote from Hugh's sister, Debbie, about how this doesn't seem like him and all that. And there's a picture of the family along with the story. And you know that they had 2 kids, Elliot and Abigail, but there is a 3rd child in the photo. What do you see about this child in the photo? Like, zoom in to it. What do you see that just kind of sets you on edge about this 3rd child?
I think he like zooms in on the microfiche, and he does the whole bit where he zooms out and thinks it changed, zooms back in, music picks up a little bit, quite unnerving. And he sees the photo, and it's the smiling family. Well, everybody's smiling except one, and there's a child with like hair not brushed or anything like that, wearing like long pajama, kind of like a night dress kind of thing, and she is dead right into the camera, but not smiling at all. Everybody else is smiling around her.
Awesome. So I put that clue on the keeper, and yeah, I think. So you're trying to you zoom back and forth, like seeing if it's just a weird after image or if there's any resemblance to it, and you go back to the girl's face and zoom in on it, and she smiles and winks at you, and that shakes you for a second, and when you go back, she's back to her no smile. And I think we're going to give you a condition here. And that condition is going to be, what's the word?
We could do like rattled. Rattled would be good.
Yeah, rattled. I think the condition is she saw you.
Okay, even better.
Yeah. And we didn't really talk about conditions either. Conditions are things that can happen to your character, usually as a result of a bad thing. Very occasionally there are good conditions. The effect mechanically of conditions is that if they come into play, you will be rolling with disadvantage. So if you try and climb a wall and fall off, you may get the condition twisted ankle. And later on, when you're trying to run away from someone, that might give you disadvantage. You can clear conditions doing the, what do they call it in this game? It's the
Nostalgia move.
The nostalgia move, yeah. So you can do a scene using the nostalgia move with another player to start clearing conditions. And we can talk about that when you get back together. Yeah, so I think this is this has put you off the rest of the I think you probably need a breath of fresh air after this. And yeah, at the end of the investigation in the library. Awesome, David. So he has you waiting there for a little bit, and offers you coffee a couple more times. You notice he is not drinking it. And after maybe about 40 minutes, a woman enters. She's probably I don't know, maybe 20 years older than you, 15. She has you can tell, she has red hair, but it's dyed. You can see roots, and kind of like looks very like ready for someone to come at her, I guess. And she goes up to Dutch and just sort of stands at his desk. Says, "Well, I'm here. Where is he?" And like looks around the waiting room and immediately spies you. "So you're the one that wants to buy Hugh's place?"
That's the house on Escondido Street. Me and my wife would love to have a look at that property, yes.
And she glances down at your left hand, says, "Really? What interests you about that place?"
It just seems like a great place to raise some kids. You love the town, love the scenery, and no one's living there.
She like looks over your shoulder and says, "Hugh, do you mind?" And he like throws his hands up. She pulls out a little carton of the Marlboros with the gold case, whichever ones those are, and has a little drugstore lighter that takes a moment to fire up, and she's smoking inside the real estate office. And Hughes just like puts on a little he like clicks on a little air purifier. It's just a nice place for a family. You know what happened to my brother, right? That's why you're here.
Your brother? I don't know anything about that. What happened to your brother?
You don't know that family disappeared? You don't know that nobody wants to talk about it or help?
Family disappeared? Wow, this is the first time I'm hearing about this. In that house specifically?
And she looks kind of sorry for you, I think. And she just like points at you with her cigarette fingers, says, "Look, I don't know who you are or where you came from. Find another place. That place is evil. There's no other two ways about it. I don't know what happened to my brother, but I'm damn sure not leaving this town until I find out what."
Well, it seems like I've stepped in a little something here, but maybe you could tell me a little bit more about what happened. Maybe that could increase the asking price a little bit.
"Dutch, you didn't tell him nothing?" And he just again throws up his hand, shakes. Like, "Look, sweetheart, you seem nice. Are you interested in the house because of the disappearance, or are you interested because you're too dumb to run away? That house is it's cursed. I don't know. It's just real bad vibes there. It's always been that way, even before my brother and his family disappeared. I hated going over there. I haven't set foot in it since they're gone. I didn't like going over there where she was. And you know what? It's still their house. They're gone, but they never left. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to keep up the property until they might come back. You never know. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry." And kind of like throws her cigarette on the ground and stomps it out. And like she is putting up a very brave face, but like this is clearly very painful for her. And she walks out. And you kind of look at where she stomped out her cigarette. And there's scorch marks on the linoleum where she left it. It's still kind of smoldering a little bit. And the scorch marks are it looks like they've kind of, it's hard to tell if like something happened, like it caught something, or if it was just the way she stomped it, but there's definitely a, and it almost looks like it's growing as you're staring at, like a spiral that has been scorched into the linoleum. And that is your clue from that roll. Scorch marks in the shape of scorch marks in the shape of a spiral.
I take a picture of it with my flip phone.
Nice. And Dutch is just like, I'm sorry, I tried to tell you, man. But I've got a lot of other properties I can show you if you want to stick around.
Ah, geez, Dutch, that's real disappointing. But we had our hearts set on that place. But you know, if something else catches your eye, we'll be in touch.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. And he goes back to his desk and pulls out a little pad and writes down a number and says, "This is Debbie's number. Don't give her a hard time. She's had a rough decade. If you need to get in touch with her, if you have more questions, or," and again, like he looks at your left hand and kind of like looks up at you and says, "If there's anything you can do to help, she would be real appreciative." And then like his fake bright smile comes back on. He shakes your hand. Awesome. I'd like to go back to Parker. Do you, when you get startled, do you jump and turn around? Or do you like what's your reaction when someone puts their hand on your shoulder?
I do think that Parker will just immediately try to turn around and sort of like cower. So try to like go inwards and just be like, whoa, like back off. Like what's going
Yeah.
on?
Yeah. And when you turn around, there's a very handsome man. He's again like square jawed, very handsome, just kind of like has a bemused smile on his face. And like after you like, it takes a moment, you take a breath in, and like he smells really good, like Old Spice kind of, like cinnamon gum.
Mhm.
He's got a cop uniform on, just a light blue shirt, and it's like strategically tight across the chest. And he like it just has his hands up, and takes a step back. He's like, "Well, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you. Is it ma'am? I forgot."
Yeah, it's
Okay.
sir, I guess.
Sir, yes. Sorry, sir.
No, it's okay.
Sorry, sir. I did not mean to startle you at all. I was just I was driving by. I saw someone looking at the place, and I just want to make sure it wasn't any kids messing things up again. Are you
nope.
okay?
Yeah, it's fine, officer. Sorry for I'm not a hooligan, I guess. I was just checking out the property.
Oh,
Can I help you with something?
well, you don't look like a hooligan. I didn't mean to imply anything. I'm sorry. We got off on the wrong foot. My name's Bill, Officer Haskell.
Oh, okay. Parker, and offers the hand for a shake.
Yeah, and he's this isn't like the strong real estate guy handshake. This is a firm but friendly, kind of matching your grip, and kind of like holds it for just a beat too long. Says, "Well, you must know what this. Are you you don't seem like you're local. You look familiar, but I don't recognize you."
Nope, just in town visiting.
Right. Well, folks around here, they got stories about this house. Every neighborhood has one.
Mhm.
Is there did something happen? Did you see something?
Yeah, I thought I saw a hooligan go in here.
Oh, did you get a description?
Yeah, they were about 5'6", wearing a black hoodie. Could maybe a teenager.
Yeah, probably the Ransom boys. They're just at that age.
Yeah, so I think I saw a hooligan go in here and I was just trying to scope it out. It's
Well,
good that you came.
Oh, it's
Fine.
good that you came. You probably scared him off. Yeah, every couple months, like someone gets dared to sleep over here or camp out in the yard or spray paint something on the side of the house.
Well,
It's
they were actually going around to the backyard.
Hmm.
Do you
Yeah,
need to go check that out?
I didn't see anyone run. I can go around, but if they went out back, they probably just ran straight back through the trees and they're long gone. I can call my deputy Gary up, but yeah, they don't mean any harm. It's probably nothing. I can send a car around a couple times, but yeah, I'm sorry again. I'm terribly sorry for disturbing you, sir. This is welcome to
Yeah, so
Deep Lake.
sorry, you said that this house is like a ghost haunted house. What was that you were saying?
Yeah,
And I'd like to roll a meddling move for that.
Awesome. Yeah. Great.
Could I
What do you
use
feel like you're with?
presence?
Yeah, if you're putting on the charm, I think that's a presence roll.
So 8 + 1.
8 + 1 is a 9. Great. So that will get you a clue. Fantastic. And we will have something happen. And let's see. What clue here? Yeah. So are you trying to get him to go around back so you can look some more, or are you trying to get him to scope something out for you?
I'm kind of hoping that I could like tag along if he goes into the backyard
Yeah.
and just be like, maybe there's a gang of hooligans and I could just sort of follow you.
Well, I suppose so. Come on along with me here. And you go around the backyard, and it's kind of enclosed by these pine trees. It's not like a privacy fence or anything, but it feels like when you go in the backyard, like everything just kind of feels quiet. Like it's not like it's a busy street or anything, but all the sounds of the outside just kind of fade away as you walk back there. There's an in-ground, or I'm sorry, above ground swimming pool that you look over the edge, and it's got like the kind of like real gross liner. It's got a couple inches of like super gross green water, some red, like the plastic wrapped, like the tube wrapped furniture that has been out in the weather and is just falling apart. And there's a couple planters, like there's a little walkway and patio leading towards the pool. A couple big planters that looked like they had some sort of bush or maybe some flowers in them that have been tipped over and the dirt's gone all over the place. And it looks like the Rappaports had one kind of like last day of fun in the sun before their disappearance. What do you see in the backyard here that shows that?
Maybe they still had like maybe they were eating outside, like if it was a nice day. So there's still like silverware and plates and stuff on a picnic table.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, and for some reason they have not been disturbed. Cool. I think it's late afternoon. It's not early evening yet, but the sun is getting lower, and that kind of makes the backyard here a little dim, the light kind of filtering through the trees. And you do see, as he's he pulls out a flashlight and starts shining it around the trees just to see if he can see anyone. It's not really doing any good, but feels like he's kind of putting on a show for you. And I think what you see is there's a pair of there's like a sliding glass door in
Okay.
the back leading onto the patio, and I think while he is distracted doing that, you see that the frame of the door, so it's like an aluminum frame, and it looks like the kind of like the frame where the door handle was broken off, it's like someone had forced their way in, but it's not really noticeable at first. You have to look at it closer because it looks like someone had kind of bent it back into place, and on closer inspection, like had painted over it with silver paint, so it's hard to tell that there was any damage to the door at all. And this is a clue for you. And the clue is signs of forcible entry carefully hidden after the fact. And that was a 9, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think what do you do when you notice that?
I think I'm gonna try to like text Erica
Hmm.
and see if she's still like in the neighborhood and kind of be like, hey, there's a cop here, but I found something really cool at the house. Like, come over.
Remind me of the person who was back home for you, if any. I
A
forget.
roommate.
The roommate, yeah. What was their name?
Oh God. Alice.
Alice. Yeah, so you text them and you get a message back almost immediately. And it's just a bunch of question marks.
Okay.
How do you respond to that?
So I texted Alice, or did I text? Sorry, I'm not clear on that part.
So who are you texting?
I was gonna text Erica, the other
Yeah.
player. Okay, so I accidentally texted Alice.
Yeah.
Oh, darn it. Okay, so I was gonna be like, sorry, but text LOL, and then just put their phone away.
And you hear it buzz again in your pocket, but you don't have to enter it now.
No. So I think they're gonna call out to the cop. And what was his name? I'm sorry.
His name was Officer Bill Hanscom.
Hanscom. I was thinking like Officer Hanscom. I think that I probably imagined it. Sorry for wasting your time. You have other crimes to solve. I'm just gonna keep going about my walk, and just try to get out of there
Awesome.
because I don't want a cop to know that I'm poking around this house.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and so he just waves back and says, "All right, have a great day. You know my number if you need me." And he
And so
does little finger guns at you.
Yeah.
Do you check the message on your phone, or you just kind of leave it?
Yeah, I think as I'm walking away, I'll look at this message on the phone.
Yeah. And the message is, why are you at my house?
Oh, and I'm gonna check what number I actually texted.
It's the right number,
Huh.
but the name in your phone says Elliot now.
And I think Parker's gonna feel like unsettled. Like,
Yeah.
wait, like what's going on? And so they're gonna be like, sorry, I'm at your house, question mark.
Yeah, why are you in my yard?
And I think Parker's gonna like look around and try to realize like, oh, this is something real spooky is happening here.
Yeah, I think looking around, you don't see anything until you look up, and then you just see a little boy's face with a little bowl cut, just it's probably just the sun going down, probably just a shadow or something.
Mhm.
But yeah, let's give you the condition unsettled. I think that'll work for that.
Perfect.
Awesome. This feels like a good close to the day. Let's take 5 and then come back and we'll start talking about what it looks like next. Cool. Awesome. See you in 5.
I don't know if it's supposed to be a reference, but the whole Hanscom and then everything like that, and well, the way you narrated My Scene in the Library really gave me a lot of Stephen King stuff going on.
Oh, I did not intend that, but that's pretty funny.
I don't know if Jason wrote it to be Hanscom meaning Ben Hanscom from It, but
Oh, maybe, yeah. I just thought it was because he was handsome.
maybe
And-
both.
Yeah.
Old Spice already. He's like the most precious cinnamon roll, and I hope he's not an eldritch horror.
No, he's a good boy, and the library is just made up on the spot. So if there's some it in there, it's from my brain.
That's perfect.
Awesome. Let's go to the dusk phase. So, we don't have any flashbacks or anything to resolve. So you have an Odyssey tape to watch. You can choose to watch an Odyssey tape at night. Right now, probably the best place to do it is you have a VCR at Rodenbecker House where you're all staying together. So if you watch an Odyssey tape, the night phase is very short. It's basically a short set of scenes that you're watching on the tape, and you can do some minor actions, maybe like a move over the course of the night phase as you're watching it. So it goes pretty quick, probably like 15 minutes or so. If you choose not to watch the tape, that lets you do more stuff at night. It is more dangerous, and I'll be setting up scenes for you. So knowing that, and you probably don't want to do it right now, but dusk is the only time when you can answer one of the questions. So when you have enough clues, that's when you theorize and try to come up with a solution. You have 4 clues right now, so you theoretically could at a -2, but probably best to wait a little bit. But that's up to you. So do you feel like you'd like to watch an Odyssey tape tonight?
Oh no.
You want to put it on hold until the next night we play? Could do that.
Yeah, that's my vote.
I'm cool with. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
totally fine if we want to
Awesome.
get into dangerous territory.
Get into danger. Also, we have someone with a condition.
Yeah. Got a couple of them. Cool. So this will just be a regular night phase. Not as do you want to try and answer the question at a -2? That is an option. I don't recommend it. Great. So each player will then say what their latchkey will be doing during the upcoming night phase. So let's just go in character keep order.
Okay, based on Keeper's discretion, I would like to sit in a dimly lit room on our shared compact computer and ask the forums for the Ghost Bro Mystery Show if they have any ideas.
Nice.
Do we need to stay in the house during the dusk phase?
Not in the night phase. No, you don't.
I would like to keep our little Hardy Boys steal here going and invite Parker to come with me to find Casey and buy him a drink. I have a question for him.
Awesome.
Yeah, Parker will go along with that.
Cool. Great. What about David?
I would like to visit the house on Escondido Street.
Oh, whoo, boy. All right. That can
Famous.
be arranged.
Famous last words.
Oh, you
Awesome.
got plenty of keys. We'll be fine. You'll
Yeah, yeah. You can do whatever you want right now. You're young and vulnerable.
I love it.
Cool. So let me look at this. Who you gonna call move again? So you're active on the online forums for the Ghost Bro Mystery Show, a TV program about a group of young men and women, the Ghost Bros, who investigate haunted places in North America. When you post a question about a Deep Lake mystery on the forums, roll with presence, and then we get some stuff. Cool. I'd like to start off with that. So the rest of the crew has gone out for the night. Tell me about your room at Rodenbecker Street. What's the vibe there?
I think he came in here and he really made his corner kind of his own. He's got his The Thing poster on the wall, Friday the 13th. He has his Shatner mask on like a little mannequin head that he
Nice.
puts up there. And he's got papers strewn around, like his own shorts. He's written his own scripts. There's probably like open makeup laying around, and then other than that, it's just like a little twin bed
Awesome.
with like no sheet on it on the floor.
Cool. What question do you want to ask on the forums?
I think he'll kind of sit. We can get like a nice over the shoulder shot, and it's he's gonna ask if anybody's ever heard of a family disappearing overnight, leaving everything behind. Like it's more supernatural, obviously, the way he poses the question, but he's going to ask. He'll do that, and he'll specifically mention Escondido Street in the forum, just in case anybody might know something.
Awesome. Cool. Let's go ahead and make that roll now. So we're going to be rolling with presence, which we have a 0 in. So it looks like it's just going to be 2 dice straight up, unless you want to try to incorporate one of the things from your corner of the house.
Yeah, I was gonna say like maybe like, you know, it's a little bit somber. He's at the house alone. He reaches into his pocket and he kind of pulls out this keychain that the camera gets a close up of, and you got to get a little bit of a flashback to his ex, the big fight before they broke up, when he came to Deep Lake, telling him like you're chasing ghosts, not literally. There's nothing going on, and you know you're gonna throw all this stuff away for nothing. And so it's kind of like he steals himself, that he's got to prove that he has a good enough hunch to be here.
Awesome.
And all this stuff isn't just farce and whatnot.
I love it. Great. Go ahead and check that off. And you can roll 3 dice and take the top 2. So that is a 5 and a 3, which is an 8. Great. Awesome. It might take a minute for them to get back to you as a forum.
Yeah, totally fine. I'm just sitting here.
Cool. Let's jump to Casey. I think that'll be fun. Do we have a bar name? Probably not. What's the name of the bar that Casey hangs out at?
How about something like, it's a small town, so it's something like The Last Stop.
Last
Something
Stop.
like that. No other bar. This is it.
And not at all ominous. I like it.
Great. So is this the first time y'all have been to this bar, or have you hung out there before?
It's here once or twice on a fake ID before she left town. What is the name of this town again?
Deep Lake.
Like, yeah. She was there once or twice on a fake ID.
Nice. Cool. And I think Casey's a regular there. You know, he's just out having a good time. And you know, there's a jukebox. It's playing something from 2004. What songs? 2004.
American Idiot.
Probably
Yeah, it's Green Day. It's playing some Green Day. The tone of the bar is like, it looks like it used to be like kind of like a roadhousey country bar, but there's like the Misfit skull up on the ATM machine, and like it's definitely turned into more of like a punkier, or at least pop punkier kind of feel. So yeah, definitely Green Day on the jukebox. Perfect. And Casey's at the bar, and he's hanging out with there are a couple ladies hanging out with him. It seems like they are buying him drinks. They look like they are probably in college, or at least college age, and he is just kind of politely he's just being charming.
All right.
So what do the two of you, what would you like to do there?
I think
I would like to play the old friend of Casey's, getting him, getting him away from. He clearly does not wish to be in this situation with the college girls.
Yeah.
I'd like to play that part.
Awesome. And the two of you are together, right?
yes.
Parker and Erica. Great.
Yeah, so I think Parker's gonna get like a good table, like in the corner.
Yeah.
And like be like, okay, I'm gonna order, like appetizers, make it really appealing for him to come over here.
Yeah. Awesome. I think it is not a problem to get him over there. He takes a couple of looks like they're some sort of maybe what am I thinking of? Like they're like bar drinks, but bar cocktails kind of. They're something kind of grayish and fizzy. He takes them over the table, politely thanks the girls, and says, "These are some old friends of mine. I really need to catch up with them. I'll catch you later. I'll catch you tomorrow." And then brings the drinks over to the table and says, "Look, here you go," and just slides them over to you.
It's I think Parker ordered for the table.
Yeah. Help yourself to wings. Casey, how are you doing? We've been checking out Escondido Street.
Awesome. Yeah. And he dived for the wings like he hasn't eaten in a little bit. I mean, he definitely has. He's very healthy looking, but he's just enthusiastic. Yeah. And yeah, so he's like, great. Did you find out anything?
Yeah, a few things. So, who are those girls over there? They seem pretty interested in you.
Yeah, it's Shelly and Becca. Shelly and Becca. Yeah, they're just in town with their folks visiting for the summer.
Oh, neat. We talked to a few people, poking around the house. You definitely have some interesting neighbors on this house. But,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah.
man, I'm just gonna come out and ask. It's been 10 years. Why are you just asking someone now to look into what happened to your friend? What?
I've been asking people for the last 10 years. No one here is. It's weird. I mean, you grew up here. You've got a vibe for what the place is like, right? It's like I mean, I don't blame you for leaving. Like this place like messes with you. It's just like, I'm surprised you got out. Like I would love to leave, but I feel like it's just, I don't know. When Elliot disappeared and his folks, of course, it's kind of, it feels like this place just like dug its claws into me. I don't know. I was in a pretty bad place for a while after that. And I've been asking people for the last decade, less so recently. I approached y'all because, you know the place, but you're not, like, it hasn't gotten you, right? It's people
Well,
here.
I'm back, so I don't know, maybe it did.
Oh, yeah. People just don't want to accept that something's going on ever. They said the TV station burned down. What?
Yeah, look, it's okay, man. Here, try the matzo sticks. They're pretty good, at least they used to be. Look, we definitely we got some news for you.
Yeah.
Especially got some news for you, but just one last question before we start sharing our intel here. Who all did you ask who didn't help you?
Who didn't I ask? Every single person that I came across for the first couple of years. No one even wants to talk about it or acknowledge it. It's like they were never there, except for Debbie, and she's, you know, I don't know. I don't think she likes me. We had a little thing for a while, and it didn't work out. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I know how it goes. I help myself to some wings just kind of look at Parker like, you want to tell him? Or
Yeah, and Parker nods and is like, all right, like gives a I'll give it a shot sort of look. But by the way, Casey, Elliot, whenever you last saw him, what did he look like? Like, are there missing people pictures around? And Parker's really trying to poke at like, hey, I saw this creepy kid in a window. Is this the same kid?
Yeah, I mean, he was like any other 10-year-old kid. Yes, I mean, back then, we had like the striped jersey shirt in weird colors. It was like the same little bowl haircut every kid had. Yeah, he's just a kid.
Okay.
He's just a kid. He didn't do anything. What happened to him?
There were some cops, a cop poking around. They mentioned vandalism? Do you know anything about that sort of stuff?
Well, like Bill?
Yeah.
I mean, kids tag the place every once in a while, and Debbie hires someone to scrub it off, and then the next time it happens, she has to hire someone else. It's
So no one's like broken it, like broken windows, climbed fences, stuff like
I
that.
mean, I wouldn't be surprised, how teenagers are just daring. But yeah, I haven't heard anything.
So you haven't been in the house since they disappeared?
No, fuck no.
you know anything about the gardener that Debbie hired?
Charlie, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, he works up and down the street. I don't know, he's a good dude. He seems down to earth.
He on the level? Yeah. Some
I mean, Charlie, Chuck, yeah, Chuck is on his own level, right? He's he lives out on the edge of town, but not like bad edge, just like he likes to be by himself a lot.
what does this game have in terms of rewind mechanics? Because I feel that Erica would have asked Parker if he saw the blood crusted tools in the backyard that Chuck was talking about.
Say that again.
Erica would have asked Parker if he'd seen the bloody tools Chuck
Mm.
told.
Yeah, if he did, then that's totally cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Did he see?
I guess so. I mean, you said there were like potted plants kicked over and stuff, so I
Yeah.
assume it'd be around there, perhaps.
Yeah. I think
the
they're
game
around.
I think the game assumes that we are all sharing the clues that we
Okay.
get with one another, so we all have
Yeah.
access to all that stuff.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah, and they were probably still knocking around the backyard too. If that's what you're asking. Yeah.
Yeah. Might have to take an extra look if you don't mind. Casey.
You're going out there tonight?
I mean, I don't know about tonight. Let's see how things shake out.
That sounds great. It like gives you a cheers with one of the cocktails. Speaking of going to the house tonight, David, tell me what you're doing.
Well, I want to go around back to the door that looked like it had been forced open.
Mhm.
See if it's still open.
Whew, yeah. So what are you afraid that you might find when you look at the door?
Blood.
Yeah. So this is going to be a night move. I ask you what you're afraid might happen. I'm going to tell you how it is worse. I think it's worse because you might find fresh blood, the door open, and a trail leading inside. So we're gonna roll and see what we get. Do you have a feeling about which attribute this might use?
Feels like composure to me.
Feels like composure to me. Yeah, great. So you have a 1 composure?
Yep.
Awesome. Let's roll 2 dice plus 1. 8. That is a 9. All right. So, I'm sorry. Before we rolled, I should have asked you. Do you still want to go through with it?
Oh, I do.
Excellent. Great. So that is exactly what you find when you come around the back. And I think, knowing about the tools, knowing about what Parker and Erica told you, you kind of braced for it. So you see the trail even before you get to the door, and it's leading from the woods to the house. The door is slid open maybe about 8 inches, and there is blood leading into the house, into the darkness. And I think we're going to give you the condition compelled by blood.
Well, now I have to go in.
Yeah, I think you do. So you push open the door the rest of the way.
First of all, is there a shovel? Is there a shovel in the yard I can pick up as kind of, some security?
Yeah. And conveniently enough, it's already covered in blood. Again,
compelled by the blood to pick it up.
It seems like it's been there for a while, but when you touch it, it's still slick. Let's go back to the internet. Michael, so you posted a question about if anyone had heard anything from that. And so you rolled a 7 and 9. So you're going to get an answer, but they're going to want something from you before they share it. And so this is this is from user Spooky Mike 73, and Spooky Mike 73 says responds, yeah, bro, I've been obsessed with that house. That's some weird shit going on there. Not only the people that disappeared, but all the freaky shit people have seen since then. But I've spent a lot of time putting this together, and it's not for the faint of heart. Tell you what, if you can get me a picture of something spooky inside there, I'll tell you everything I know. But you got to go in.
Yeah, he'll write back like, totally sounds good. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll go in there and I'll get you something. I'll pick up some disposable camera and I'll send you the roll of film myself.
Awesome. I love it. You're just gonna chill at the house for the rest of the night?
I know the night phase is a little tighter around the little more constricted, so
Mhm.
I think that's probably what he'll do the rest of the night. Yeah, is he'll do that.
Cool. So Parker and Erica, you show up. Do you go around the back or do you try another way in?
Oh, at Elliot's house?
Yeah, is that where you went?
Sure.
Oh, I mean, if that's not where you were planning on going, that's totally cool.
I didn't know what the resolution of the scene was. I didn't have a vision. I like this one. What do you think, Parker?
Yeah, I think that's great. I think we should go to the backyard since we know that that's sort of concealed and we know that there's an open door.
Did you know that David was going there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not. I don't mean to jump in. I'm really
sorry.
sorry.
Yeah,
to
go
interrupt
for it.
anybody.
You're
But
good.
if you guys want, I'll just say like fuck it on the forum, and I'll go there right now, and all four of us can show up at like the same time.
Yeah, we called you on the way or something.
Yeah, and I'll just grab a
Let's do
camera
game
and
this
head
then.
that way.
Awesome. Awesome. So the three of you show up to the back door. You know David had gone, and you see a trail of blood and some bloody footprints leading into the dark. What do you do?
Okay, so this was not here a few hours ago, whenever we were
not.
here.
Definitely
Um,
not.
Do phones have flashlights then? I don't
We
remember.
could probably have like little tiny flashlights.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
have like a keychain flashlight or
Yeah.
something.
You got something.
Um,
They have flashlights. Convenience stores do.
That's true. I
That's
think
true.
flashlights are a common enough thing. We can just assume that you have them while you're investigating.
I think
Cool.
Parker's gonna try to like shine their flashlight in and maybe whisper like David's
Mm.
name. Try not to be too loud.
Super creepy. Cool. So there's the sliding doors open onto kind of like what looks like it probably was a dining room, and it's kind of open plan with the kitchen right there. There's like a little not an island, but a little bar-ish type of thing kind of separating that room and the kitchen. And the table looks like it's still set for dinner. It's got like oak, there's a couple oak cabinets and Formica tabletops all over the place. So the three of you, I guess, based on what was left out, name one thing that was on the dinner menu on the day that they disappeared.
How about at two opposite sides of the table, there are these like wine glasses filled with what is now the most disgusting wine that they were never touched that night.
Yeah.
Salad bowl.
Mm.
A cheesecake with only one slice taken out.
Ooh, super gross. Yikes. Yeah. So the three of you are in there checking that out, whispering for David.
Erica's got her camcorders like panning over everything because either it's
Nice.
going to be a film or evidence of our horrible doom.
Awesome. Yeah. Can I get what are you afraid, Erica, will not show up on tape?
What am I afraid will not show up on tape?
Yeah.
David.
Yeah. And I think it's even worse than that. Not only will he not show up on tape, but no one else will be able to see him.
All right.
Are you okay with that?
The idea, so he won't show up on tape and we don't see him physically in the house, but I can see him?
Yeah.
Love it.
Awesome. What do you feel like this role is? Feels like composure to me, but I'm willing to be swayed.
It's 6.5 dozen of the other for composure reasons, so it's the
Cool.
same model.
Yeah, the same role.
Yeah.
Great. So 2 dice plus 1, unless you want to use an item. Camcorder is definitely valid here.
Yeah. I don't want to burn my camcorder just yet.
Cool. That's just
You
2
know.
dice plus 1.
Yeah. See what we get.
4. All right.
Ooh, maybe I'll turn a key.
Well, before you turn a key, let's see what happens. And I think what you see is a small boy in his pajamas. He's got the footy pajamas. They're light blue, and there's one of the seams is coming off here, and he's like rubbing his eyes, walking through the kitchen towards you, and he just looks up at you, and his like he doesn't get closer, but it feels like his face is in your face, but he's still on the other side of the room, and he speaks, and it's like almost a whine, and says, "Why did you let them get me?" And when he speaks, it is David's voice, and when he finishes the sentence, it's David talking. Do you want to turn a key?
Remind me what the different tiers of outcomes are.
So 6 or less is real bad. 7 and 9 means that you keep your shit together, but there's a complication or something bad. And 10 plus means that you're super good.
No, I'm not going to turn a key. I'm going to let this roll stand.
Awesome. And so I think that's the last thing we're going to see. And you are definitely going to take a condition from that. Or actually, you know what I think? And you can still turn a key after I do this. I think you scream, fall back, and drop your camcorder, and it is busted, and we will mark it off.
All right.
Is that okay with you?
Sure.
All right, cool. And I think the image of David's bloody face yelling, "Why did you let them take me?" filling the screen is the last thing that we see tonight. And we'll get back to it next time.
Well,
Great.
I'll share what that's showing you guys.
Whew. Take a deep breath. Awesome. I like to end these sessions with stars and wishes, and I like to do with my camera so we can talk a little bit about what we like and what we would like to see. Stars and wishes, we'll just go around and say things that we liked, moments that we liked, things that came up, anything that is juicy for you. Wishes are things that you would like to see done differently, or hopes that you have for things coming up next. So if you want to see Hunky Cop again, he's a wish. Yeah, awesome. Let's go in reverse character keeper order then. So let's start off with Sasha.
First of all, I want to give a star to Ellie for the scene where using the Blair Witch thing to convince the groundkeeper to talk, I thought was great. And also in the time period, you had so many Blair Witch ripoffs, which was a nice little period detail. Also like the scene with Parker with the cop and just like maneuvering him to get a better look at the backyard. That was fun too. And yeah, the ghost detective move is great, and really looking forward to seeing more of that pop off. And really love the world as we've established it so far. The kind of level of horror it's at seems pretty good to me. So yeah, and of course, wish to see what happens with David.
Awesome. Any other wishes for the session?
Not really.
Cool. Thank you. I think Rue is next.
So that was really fun. I really liked the real estate office scene. I thought that was a really clever way to try to get information about the house. And then I just want to give props to Mark. That was awesome keeping, especially with like weaving the clues in. That was great. And I guess for wishes, I'm excited for our characters to like talk and do those nostalgia moves. So yeah, it was great fun. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Ellie.
Yeah, lots of stars. I loved Billy's narration in the library with that, the zoom in to the microfiche, zoom out, something's changed. Like, I saw that in my head because I've seen that, on film. So that was fantastic for setting that stage. Star for Sasha for just going straight into the haunted house alone. Love it, leading into that. Star for Rue for I'm really loving the we're gonna get a Hardy voice thing going here. I'm here for it. And star for our keeper for to echo what Sasha said about just a really sweet spot level of horror and the vibe of that era and the found footage. Like I said, I think before we were on camera, I was 20 years old in 2004. So all this stuff, like this is where I used to live. So fantastic. Wishes for next time. I'll echo Rue's wish there to have those nostalgia rolls. I'd like to answer some of my Dawn questions. Dig into that. And I definitely want to see Officer Old Spice again. He must be protected at all costs.
We can arrange that. Awesome. Thank you. And Billy.
So stars to everybody. Sasha's idea about going to the real estate office is great. The whole ex-Enron guy goes to the professional #1 was really cool to see. Rue and Ellie's togetherness was really fun. I liked that they kind of stuck it out and were kind of keeping in tune with one another. Especially the bar scene was really great too. And star to obviously Mark for knocking it out of the park, jumping between. It just worked so well. The one thing I did take to my character was that I'm a big movie guy, so I could see it all in my head, all your stuff you were doing. And for wishes, I do want to see the inside of the house more, which obviously that will come. And I just want to keep playing. That's my wish. So
awesome.
Pretty easy one.
We can definitely make that happen. Cool. Yeah, stars all around. Thank you all for just jumping into this and being great right out of the gate. I'm so used to. I mean, I run stuff with the Gauntlet sometimes, but I'm so used to playing with the same groups of combination players, and I don't think I played. It's so many people. It's so great to just get a new group of completely random people together and have everyone just like be on it and click really great. Y'all seem super cool, and I'm really excited to keep playing this with y'all. And the individual characters that you came up with, like so distinct, so different, and so crisp. Everyone's super got their thing. There's so much to work with there, and y'all had some really great choices there. The bar scene, I was just like, you know what, if you just hang out in the bar all night and don't do anything else, I'm totally happy with that. We can have some shenanigans there. The big move of going straight into the haunted house at night is super good. And yeah, all the I'm gonna hang out at home and play on the computer all night. This is a perfect character move. Real estate office, super great. I love it when a group of media is just like, we're all going to do 4 different things. Like no D&D damage for splitting the party or anything. Like y'all know how it goes. So that was super fun to play. Wishes, pretty much only wishes for myself. I'm still like, I know the Brindlewood system really well. I think I just need to like arrange where everything is so I can get to it easier with less fussing around. And I think I want to start keeping track of NPCs a little bit easier, or y'all can keep track of it on the page too. I have like, my notes are illegible clearly. So just give me that. And the big actual wish is to see what's on the Odyssey tape. I'm so happy about that. That y'all started off with one. So cool. I think that's all I've got. Anything else before we break?
One more wish is, I definitely think that Michael wants to wax nostalgic with Erica about movies and movie making.
Awesome.
Yes.
100% he will be bothering you next Monday.
I love it.
Yes, we'll make it happen. And other than that, this was my first chance to play a card from Brindlewood game, and I see what the fuss is about. So thank you.
Yeah.
This was fantastic.
Yeah, it only gets better. Cool. If there's nothing else, thank you so much for jumping in. I look forward to spending 11 more sessions, give or take, with you, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for hanging out.
Bye.